Hey Susie, now that the Midwest has pretty much survived this Arctic blast, I have to admit I'm glad we're riding in an indoor arena.
Me too. And I've just been itching to spend some quality time with my horse. I'm sure our viewers have too.
And in this show we have Liberty training, and we also have some special series on roping.
And we're going to learn all about come-over cues. And we want to give a special shout out to Merck Animal Health, as they do important work with at-risk youth.
I can't wait to see that. Hello everyone, my name's Ed Adams.
And I'm Susie DeRushi.
And welcome to Better Horses.
In this first segment, we are excited to bring back Dan James, and he's going to teach us how to work Liberty patterns, all the way from Kentucky.
And all the way down from Alabama, John Darnell from the 310 Ranch Life is going to show us how to rope a proper hip shot. And to expand on our ground training, we hauled into Lone Jack, Missouri and sat in with Matt Jobe as he discussed more about the come-over cue.
Ed, one thing that I love about Better Horses is every time I watch, I feel a little smarter.
I agree. And it's also the only show on your local broadcast television station.
And now airing every Monday on RFD TV.
So stay with us. We'll be right back. Don't miss the largest equestrian event of the year. It's called Equifest of Kansas. This premier all-breed horse fair will be celebrating its 24th year and coming to Salina, Kansas beginning Friday, March 5th through Sunday, March 7th. Professional horse trainers such as Chris Cox, barrel racing, driving derbies, and the best ranch hands in the ever-popular ranch rodeo. Wall-to-wall shopping for all things horse. EquifestofKS.com. Equifest of Kansas, March 5th, 6th, and 7th in Salina.
They can kind of pick up when we're wearing a mask about grief. They can pick up when we're in a good mood, and they can sure pick up when we're sour about something, and they kind of reflect that back to us.
That horse trusts you and you trust that horse. It's a very strong relationship, the same as it is with people, right? You want a horse that wants to be with you. And it's our responsibility as horse owners to develop that relationship. Allow that horse the opportunity to want to be with us. One of the most, if not the most, rewarding experiences I've had in my professional career was taking these horses in and working with them for the 15 months and seeing these horses transition.
Today's their graduation from the year, so they're off to a boys' home that have an equine program.
Through some mutual friends, we developed a relationship with the Agape boarding school.
We take troubled boys, teenage boys, and we introduce them to horses, try to change their life and get them on the right direction. I've always been amazed at the relationship that a young boy and a horse can have. It's what got me started in life, building some kind of a bond with the horse.
They're not listening to what they're saying. They're reading the body language and they're reading the people.
Those boys live there year-round, and they earn the privilege to be able to work in the horse program if they'd like to. These horses will teach them that, hey, having directed and controlled energy is a lot better on everybody than that uncontrolled energy.
They have responsibility. They start learning a little bit. They start having some leadership responsibility put in their lap, and all of a sudden their hearts start opening up.
I've seen people that have never ever been around horses before in their life, and there's just a connection.
And I thank Merck Animal Health for allowing us to be able to commit our passion and our love and our caring for the horse and for our customers, for them to allow us to be able to implement that in the best way we can.
We're passionate about the horse, but we're especially passionate about what the horse does for people. And anything we can do to strengthen that bond is just a blessing.
G'day guys, Dan James here from Double Down Horsemanship, and I'm excited to be here today on Better Horses TV and share with you guys the International Liberty Horse Association and what does that look like. We're going to take a look at a pattern being done completely at Liberty with one of the top competitors in the association right now, with Katie and her horse Punk. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so just like other equestrian sports such as reining and dressage, there's patterns that we're looking at doing, and with the International Liberty Horse Association, these are some of the patterns or maneuvers in those patterns. So of course we're looking for accuracy, the way that the horse came down that line there, it was a good square halt. Our movements in there, so they're going to be judged between a 0 and a 5. Katie's going to have to demonstrate different sizes of circles, and we're looking for the degree of variation and degree of difficulty. So degree of difficulty in this would be how easy was the horse to be able to be cued from what distance, and how little was the trainer being able to ask that horse to complete a movement. Katie and Punk have been a combination that have won several of the titles thus far, and have done a great job in their progression of being able to go through from the basic patterns and start to advance on the more difficult ones. As you can see, this is being done in a large area. Obviously Punk doesn't have the halter and lead rope on, so all of these cues are being asked from Katie from just a small light cue of either the whip and or verbal cues that they're allowed to use. Come back through the center. Obviously for our cones, that there again was a nice stop, and you can tell the degree of difficulty in that. So we're asking for that horse to stop dead center, in the center of those cones, with very little being able to cue that. So Katie brought those whips up for that stop cue. Here she's demonstrating that stop cue, not only being able to stop the horse, but then hold him on a stop while she moves around. So in other events such as extreme cowboy racing, that might be considered like a ground tie. Here it's being done again completely at Liberty with no gear on. She's going to ask him here to move off to the next movement. So it looks like she's going from a small circle here, and we'll see what we're going to have here next. Going back to the cones, the use of the cones here is to help for not only the competitors to help them stay on pattern and keep accuracy, but also from the judge's standpoint to see how well a job that these guys are doing as they go through to complete each of these maneuvers. So here we are on that counter circle. So right there, with him going on the outside of that cone, that would have been a deduction. So if we've got our scoring system from that 0 to 5, so she's going to be somewhere around that 2 with missing that cone in that movement. There was a pretty tough maneuver that she just sort of demonstrated, going from the canter back to the walk. It's one thing, you know, like once you start getting going, like you wouldn't think the walk is going to be that tricky, but when you have that sort of slow movement and that downward transition, that certainly creates a larger degree of difficulty in going through this. Okay, so there we're back to that stop cue again. Katie's going to cue him here for the backup. So again, we'd be looking for the straightness in that there. So there he, of course, tipped his hip a little bit to the left, and we're showing you from where the judge's perspective would be from where you guys are watching at home. This is one of the fastest growing deals that we've seen in recent times with this International Liberty Horse Association. People being able to take the art or the love of Liberty horses and being able to now have a place to be able to compete with it. There's been several competitions over the past year where we're online competitions, so it means that literally, just like from the view that you guys are getting here, that you could have somebody film you just off a smartphone or device and then submit it in for it to be judged. So as we mentioned, things like the laydown are part of it. Now there's classes in the International Liberty Horse Association that we're showing you a higher degree of difficulty here, but there's going to be parts in it that not only demonstrate from what you're seeing here today, but also to the absolute basics where you would start out even in a round pen.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after these messages.
When you're a barrel racer, there are so many things that can bother a horse. Just eliminating the back issues is a huge advantage. I feel like using a CSI saddle pad has given me an advantage over other girls because I know that my horse is feeling good, that saddle's not bothering him. If you're looking for a new saddle pad, invest in a CSI. It's worth the investment.
Your buddy Ron once said he could install your ceiling fan. He couldn't. And that one time, Ron said another chili dog was a good idea? Yeah, it wasn't. So when Ron said you'd never afford a John Deere tractor, you knew better. Now, Ron does too. The E-Series, legendary John Deere quality, unexpected low price.
Stop by and see Heritage Tractor at one of its 9 locations for your John Deere and Featherlight trailer needs. HeritageTractor.com.
Don't miss the largest equestrian event of the year. It's called Equifest of Kansas. This premier all-breed horse fair will be celebrating its 24th year and coming to Salina, Kansas beginning Friday, March 5th through Sunday, March 7th. Professional horse trainers such as Chris Cox, barrel racing, driving derbies, and the best ranch hands in the ever-popular ranch rodeo. Wall-to-wall shopping for all things horse. EquifestofKS.com. Equifest of Kansas, March 5th, 6th, and 7th in Salina.
Alright guys, we talked about in 2020 we were going to bring out some new videos, and one that we've been working on, Dalton put out a video on some fancy shots as far as a Del Viento. He's got a backhand turnover coming, but some more practical shots that we can show you as far as heel shots go are basically hip shots. And hip shots are very versatile, very easy to do really if you understand the concept of it and how to use the hip to your advantage. So basically in this video we're just going to show you the advantages to using a hip and how to get that done on 2 different shots. One will be a forehand, just a kind of a forehand sidearm hip shot, and then a backhand chop shot, or some people call it a karate chop. But both of those shots use the hip to keep the rope open. You can throw them from a long ways off without disturbing the calf's flight zone a lot of the time. So they're very useful shots when you get handy at them. Most of the time, they're the best kind of ropes to do this with are going to be the limper ropes. Any of our ropes will do it. The Wuza will do it. The Senkos, of course, they're almost built for it. This is a 4-strand Senko. But the limper the rope, the more action you're going to get whenever it hits, and the deeper it's going to shoot through. If you've got a rope with a lot of body, they'll kind of bounce in and out, and then you may have some grass or a stick or something that'll keep your shot out. But the more weight and the more flexible the rope is, the better off you're going to get, or the better you're going to do at these type shots. So anyways, with that being said, we'll move on. So we're going to start out with the forehand, or sidearm hip shot really. It's thrown from the right hand side of the animal, and generally right off the back hip. So if I'm gonna throw this shot, I'm gonna try to be right off the back hip. I'm gonna be throwing this shot. My target, it's at the calf's kind of flank, or throwing at the pin bone. That would be a good place to look. The way that you want to deliver this shot is it's very simple. It's a simple sidearm swing like this, and you want to build a fairly big loop. Reason why you need a bigger loop is because the rope has got to hit the calf's hip and flank area, and it's got a lot of girth. So the bigger, wider, fatter your animal is, the bigger your loop needs to be. So all you do, with that being said, is have a sidearm swing like this. You want to deliver your loop flat like a pancake. you want it to hit flat like that. You don't want your tip to hit first. You want it just to deliver. I mean, I can't describe it any better than just flat like a pancake. So with that being said, you just swing sidearm and you deliver. When it hits, obviously what happens is the loop pretty much just splats on the calf. But when it's traveling flat like a pancake, it allows the bottom of the loop to shoot under. The top of the loop hooks the hip, which keeps the top of the loop open for the calf to walk through. That's as easy a shot as you can get as far as heel shot from a distance using a hip. In order to pick up heels on this shot, if you were to pull right here as your header takes him off, if you were to pick up, you're going to pull that loop right off. So what you try to do is position yourself to this side of the calf, bringing up as much slack as you can, and when you get in this position, when he starts to take him off, then you pick up and the hip will hold that on that animal as the slack is taken out. A lot of times you'll catch them high above the hocks or even pantyhose them if you pick up on this side, because the hip holds it over. So I'll throw that one more time. You can do that from pretty great distance, or good long ways away of the animal. This is going to be my go-to if I've got a calf that's standing still, or you can throw this shot moving if you're handy enough. So it basically starts out, you want a fairly big loop with a backhand swing, and something that I always try to get myself to do whenever I'm practicing a shot, learning a new shot, is do it rhythmically. That helps me out. I don't want to stand here and swing over and over and over and over and over again. I want to get rhythmic and count. That's what I do. I'll say 1, 2, throw, 1, 2, throw, just for the heck of it, for this last one, and then we'll be done with this. So from here, 1, 2, and there's the shot. It's getting a little more extreme. I've still got a good blow through as far as my tip goes, but it's a lot. You can see the angle that I threw. That's a good example of my rope hitting. That was the angle that it hit, so that's where it shot through to that front leg. You'd probably get back feet picked up on that. Anyways, those are two good options as far as the hip goes, and starting to kind of learn different ways to use the hip as a tool to get a calf healed, in a low stress manner, or if you're in a slower setting. But that's just kind of the start of understanding the hip and how you can use it to your advantage.
You're watching Better Horses, raising your horse experience.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Victoria Koch of KV Dressage out at Redfern Ranch in Platte City, and I'm coming to you today for a quick tip, and that is to ride your line and ride accurately. If you find yourself trying to achieve a 20-meter circle and it looks more like a 24-meter oval, that tells you your horse is falling through that outside shoulder. You need more outside aids. If it turns into an 18-meter circle, use a little more inside leg to get that horse to the outside rein. If you're trying to ride straight across the diagonal and you're looking a little wobbly, get that horse between both legs. That is your tip of the day. Thank you so much for tuning in to Better Horses. I hope you tune in next time.
Hey, don't touch that dial. We got more Better Horses TV right after this message from our sponsors.
hay is not for horses. They deserve Stanley Premium Western Forage. There's no better place in the country to grow forage than Idaho, and Stanley is one of the country's largest producers. From pellets, cubes, and chopped forage in bags to compressed in 3-tie bales, Stanley cultivates the premium forage types horse owners demand. Because your horse needs hay, but he deserves Stanley Premium Western Forage.
The other day I'd read something I did not know. A car company had to call back 10 million cars because the accelerator was sticking. Well, I kind of laughed and I went, wait a minute, that kind of speaks about me. I'm always in too big of a hurry. I'm the kind of guy that when I read a book, I just want to go to the last chapter. I don't need to read everything else that's going on. Just tell me what's going, how the book ends. When I watch a movie, I just need to watch the last 15 minutes. The whodunit, I don't need to know how it got there. I just want to know how it ends. I thought about starting a group for people like me, and I thought, well, at least it wouldn't last long because we'd all be in a hurry to get the meeting over to get on out. Hey, we just need to slow down for a minute. It's our prayer at Better Horses that we all just take time to stop, slow down, and linger in the presence of God. Hey, I am Steve Stafford. I'm the pastor at Risen Ranch Cowboy Church right outside of Carthage, Missouri, and I'm a very proud member of the Better Horses family.
Howdy folks, my name is Matt Jobe, C-Bar J Ranch. Welcome to Better Horses TV. Today we had a mini clinic, we had a dozen folks, and we taught them the come over cue. How our horse can simply come over to us at the mounting block, on the trailer fender, on a fence, wherever you may be, out on the trail. You find a stump to get onto, ask your horse to come over to you. So a few key components of that, everybody did really great today. A few key components is a horse learns whenever we stop. They don't learn when we kick them, they don't learn when we tap them, they learn when we stop all pressure. Every time you stop pressure, same as saying good job, good job. So it's important that we say good job at the correct time. A few things about teaching the come over cue for the first time. This horse's first day he's done it, done a great job. A few ways that I like to start it. I like to start it with a wall behind me or a fence behind me so the horse only goes 180 degrees. As the horse learns it a few times, then I move out to the middle, I move over to a fence, move wherever I want to mount on them. So 180 degrees will help you a lot. I get upright on a mounting block, on a table, on a bench, whatever. I want to be elevated. Big key to that is whenever I go to do groundwork and I try to send my horse off, sometimes after doing the come over cue, he wants to come to me when I'm trying to send him off for groundwork. And so be cautious about that. Don't let him come into you too hard and knock you over, but get after him. That's not what you wanted. Push him away, push him away. When you want him to come over, ask him to come over, release the pressure. When you want to push him away, release the pressure. Again, every time we do that, we're saying good job. And so that's a few key components. Be elevated, be against a wall so the horse can only go 180 degrees. And then the whole time you're adding pressure, be thinking about when can I let go of my horse? When can I tell my horse good job? Sometimes at the beginning, they simply lean. That's great. Sometimes they simply move one foot towards you. That's great. As we build on it, you'll see they'll be moving their hip. They'll be moving several steps over. This horse backed up a little bit. There we go. And so two things I do, two cues I give. One, I smooch with my mouth because I want a voice cue because I'm not always going to have a stick or something with me. Second thing I do is add pressure with a stick or my reins or my lead rope, whatever I need. There's no magic spot to touch my horse either. If I can't reach him, I touch him anywhere I can touch him. The key is I'm adding pressure, adding pressure, adding pressure. As soon as my horse does the right thing, take all the pressure off. Remember, when you take that pressure off, you're saying good job. And so think about that hard. It doesn't matter if our horse does the right thing or the wrong thing. When we take pressure off, we're saying good job. And so we need it to be when they did the right thing. The other part of coming up here, like I said, this horse has done this just 3 times today, 4 or 5 times today. Be very specific where you want your stirrup. Your left hand actually does a lot of work. If I'm pulling back too far, my horse gets too far back. If I'm pushing up too far forward, my horse gets too forward on me. So your left hand does a lot of work. My right hand is just the pressure. There we go. Pretty simple right here. Could step right on, right off into the sunset. So that's just a few tricks of the trade for doing the come over cue. So use our mounting block, be elevated, use our wall, so 180 degrees, use pressure and release at the correct time. So that's today's tip on the mounting block come over cue. Thanks for watching Better Horses TV.
Closed captioning has been brought to you by Lina Weaver
and Flat Tail Ranch.
No matter what discipline of riding you do, training, showing, and everyday stress is hard on your horse's legs. Decra Veterinary Products is a leading lameness company that brought you Osphos. Osphos is a clodronate injection, an intramuscular bisphosphonate to help control the clinical signs of navicular syndrome in horses 4 years and older. Ask your veterinarian if Osphos is right for your horse. Decra Veterinary Products is a proud sponsor of The American.
It's time to go with United Mosquito and Fly Control's premier fly system for fly control in your barn, providing relief for horses from the stress of fighting flies, and also makes the barn more pleasant for everyone in the barn. Easy, effective, and safe. With United Mosquito and Fly Control, we provide a full service. You as the barn owner don't have to do anything. We go everywhere and take care of everything with our friendly fast service. Call today at 913-558-3814 or email Paul at unitedmosquito.com.
How's your production on pasture? Are profits down? Are weight gains down? What are you going to do about it? Do something cost-effective. Do something that will make a difference. To add the first and proven leader in feed-through horn fly control to your cattle rations, ask for it by name, Alticid IGR.
Hey, thank you for watching Better Horses. If you've missed any of our episodes, you can check us out at betterhorses.com where you can see all our shows.
You can also find us on Facebook or listen to any of our podcasts right from your mobile device.
And don't forget our newspaper coming out 5 times a year, also on the same website.
You're gonna love it.